Previously.
According to my former colleague's information, the timeless timekeeper is kept behind a security door that requires both a password and a DNA sample from Director Ravenhurst to open.
I still don't know how that strange clock is supposed to tell me anything about my parents. That man, Ash, appeared to me in my dreams, and I think he wanted to tell me that he's my father.
One entrance to the SCIA headquarters is located underneath the Plumbum Pictures film studio.
My acting debut will conveniently open the doors to the backstage area for us.
Hey, you can't go in there.
I recall hearing that before.
Leave him here.
Wow, look at that. The sea hag must have heard my prayers.
Good evening to you too.
Where are you going? Come sit with us. Don't worry about those guys. They may look like shady thugs, but I am a real gentleman.
Thanks, but I think I'd rather sit at the bar.
Fine by me. I'll accompany you.
Don't bother, I'll find the way myself.
Oh, don't be like that. You're the most beautiful lady that has set foot in this drinking hole all day.
I recall you saying the same words to at least 3 other ladies that came in before her. But you weren't as persistent with them.
Well, that should tell you how much I care about this one.
But she obviously doesn't care about you. Leave her alone.
Who do you think you are? You don't even work here.
If I worked here, the worst thing I could do to thugs like you without upsetting my other customers would be to throw you out. But since I don't work here, as you correctly guessed, I can do far worse. Do you want to take your chances?
Now that I'm taking a closer look, she's not that special after all. Come on, guys, let's go somewhere with more beautiful ladies.
Thanks for that. But I have to be clear, if you only help me to improve your own chances with me.
Don't worry, I'm not the least bit interested in you. In fact, I could get into a lot of trouble for mingling with people on this island. I only wish to enjoy my tea in peace.
Have you met the new HR chick? She only started last Friday.
No, I don't think I've seen her yet.
You would remember if you had. Those assets are hard to miss.
Pervert. Could you be a little less sexist for a change?
Oh, come on. Since when is it sexist to appreciate feminine beauty? You made similar comments about that blue-haired witch guy when he was new.
At least I remember his name. It's Ilium.
What? William?
No, Ilium, without the W. What's your new flame called?
Helen, I think? I'm sure she told me, but I was distracted.
See? This is why you get called to HR so often, that you know all the staff there.
Hush. Do you hear that? What the hell?
At ease. It's just a child. Hey little girl. Are you alright?
I've lost my mummy.
Who is your mummy? Does she work here? What? Me. But.
Intruders.
You're dreaming. Mr. Collins from the Pride and Prejudice novel is on his way to propose to the new HR chick, and we're the only ones who can stop him. Show us the way to HQ.
Follow me.
That was easier than I thought.
And very creative. I would have knocked them out and hacked the cabled car. But given that Agent North here is one of my former co-workers that I contacted for help, it may be best not to let him know I'm here.
What else can you tell us about him?
That he's definitely not someone you'd want to guard something important. All bark and no bite, easily distracted, only ever thinks and talks about sex.
Sounds like my kind of guy. If I wasn't already raising a child with Lev.
Oh, I don't care where your dick goes, as long as your heart belongs to your family.
How poetic. Your child might still have a problem with that, especially the adult version.
No offense, Tiamo, but you're not his type anyway. If Wilbica actually looked her age though, and didn't mind showing off her assets, she could easily have made it past him without any magic.
I'm saving that trick for later.
It's so unfair that he's still here, yet Yildiz and I are not.
And we finally have a name for the magically gifted blue-haired guard dog at the film studio too. Ilium, just like William, but without the W.
I'd rather keep calling him magically gifted blue-haired guard dog. Ilium, seriously? How is that even a name?
Your reaction reminds me of mine when I learned that Mayor von Hinton's first name is Penice.
The fuck? Surely you mean Denise?
That was also my follow-up question, but nope.
Oh boy. She must have been bullied mercilessly as a kid.
We have arrived. Please, don't let Helen marry Mr. Collins.
We won't. Now be a good boy, go to my hotel room, and
Tiamo.
I mean, take the cable car back to your post, and have a nap. When you wake up, you won't remember any of this.
Yes, sir.
Hot. Do you think he also says that when you give him an order in bed?
We'll never know. Come on.
What do you mean she's not available? We had an appointment.
I'm sorry, but the director is not in the office today. There must have been a misunderstanding, or something more important came up.
More important than the safety of thousands of people? That occult family from Forgotten Hollow is terrorizing not just their own town, but mine as well. They killed my cousin. There are no more active witch hunters in the area, and the Windenburg police won't do anything about it either, now that it's been infiltrated by aliens. I came all the way here because I was hoping the SCIA could help.
Again, I'm sorry, but you should know that the SCIA doesn't organize witch hunts against occults. Some of our own agents are witches. Excuse me, I have to take this.
Is that Jill, the annoying journalist? What the fuck is she doing here?
Complaining about us, by the look of it. I thought you took care of that.
So did I. But obviously I wasn't clear enough about the consequences of her crossing us again.
And that is the only unusual thing you guys notice in this picture?
No, of course not. I find it highly unusual that Ravenhurst is apparently not coming in all day. But at least that gives us all the time in the world to search her office.
Not what I meant.
This is so politically incorrect. I demand to speak to the manager.
There is no manager, ma'am. How about we just make another appointment? What was your name again? Karen Chop Chop?
Jillian Chopra, if you please.
Right. Jillian. Let's see. How about 26th of June, 2:40 a.m.?
Are you kidding me? That's over 5 months from now, and this is an urgent matter.
As is everything else that finds its way into this building. If you don't like it, please leave the same way you came.
I like the reception lady. She's sassy.
Don't tell me you want to sleep with her too.
Nah, that would be weird, for a number of reasons.
Yes, it would be weird indeed. Just as weird as you all getting worked up over that woman, but no one seems to notice that the reception lady is a talking cat.
Oh, that's Judith. We met her in Strangerville. It's a small world, but now that I think of it, we never did ask her what she does for a living.
She wasn't doing it back then. Ravenhurst must have recruited her around the same time as Olga Strankova.
Yeah, whatever. Do you think she still remembers us, and likes us enough to help? Or should we create a distraction?
She probably remembers, but I wouldn't count on her friendship. Working for an organization concerned with international security changes one's priorities.
A distraction it is then.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
I don't want to leave just yet.
And I don't want to sit here listening to your anti-occult racism disguised as concern for your fellow human beings, but alas, it's my job.
That's it, you've gone too far. I'm going to give the SCIA customer service a 1-star review on Google.
The SCIA thanks you for your cooperation. Goodbye.
I can't believe they would get mad at me for something like this.
Judith?
That's me. Who are you? You know what, never mind. As I just told the previous visitor, Director Ravenhurst is currently unavailable.
Oh, I'm not a visitor. But I don't think we've been formally introduced yet. I'm Helen, the new girl at HR. And we have a problem that you could help us with.
I'm the boss's secretary. Isn't there anybody else you could ask?
Well, you're the only cat that works here, as far as I know. And there's a bat flying around in our office that none of us can catch.
I hope I'm not going to regret this.
How is the hack coming, Grundy?
Almost done. I have access to the security cameras. Now I'm just waiting for those two to leave. Then I can record footage of the empty room and feed in an infinite loop. Still, someone should probably stay here and watch over the gnomified guard.
Fine. But if this takes longer than 5 minutes, I'm going to call an exterminator.
There doesn't seem to be a camera showing the inside of the director's office. Don't do anything stupid.
So your parents named you after a Norse goddess?
Exactly. Rana may have different meanings depending on what language you're looking at, but in my case, it was a deliberate allusion to Ran, the personification of the sea. Quite fitting for my kind.
Are there many mer people where you live?
No, not at all. Or maybe yes, and I just don't know about it because San Myshuno is a big, chaotic city where everybody values their privacy above all else. That's one reason I've always wanted to come to Sulani, to meet more of my kind, see what they're like. And one thing we have in common is that many merpeople here seem to be named after mythological beings too. That sweet little boy I met at the beach was called Remy. Isn't that the name of an angel?
Remiel, yes. This naming convention relates to the faith of the Sulanese. Well, the ones that don't follow the divine oracle, at least. I'm sure you've heard of the sea hag.
The one who apparently heard that other guy's prayer and sent me to him. Yeah, I already don't like her.
Most people around here think she's an angel. One of the 4 that watch over this planet. Another one would be Mother Moon, who you're probably familiar with as well.
That's the one from which religion, right?
Vampires and werewolves also worship her.
Interesting. I don't believe in angels, or in Norse gods, for that matter. But I find it fascinating how such belief systems come to be. And I wish I could study them all.
Who says you can't? You're young, you still have your whole life in front of you. And no offense, but your current subject is quite useless. If you want to make a name for yourself in the world of academia, philosophy isn't going to get you far.
That's true. But I must admit, I'm not the kind of person that plans too far ahead. I prefer to just live in the moment. You know, what's the point of thinking about tomorrow when I could die tonight?
Sounds fun. I wish I could live like that too. But in my life, nothing is ever really that simple, not even death. In fact, especially not death.
Funny how a measly curtain is the only thing between us and the obvious security door. But I guess if anyone makes it this far, hiding the door won't keep him from going all the way. Is this the DNA scanner?
It reacts to the saliva sample I collected from Ravenhurst's glass at the casino, so yes, it must be. Still requires a password though.
Don't know about that one, but the password for the computer was Mr._Darcy. Who would have thought I'd be able to crack it so quickly?
You mentioned at the film studio that your boss was into Pride Month. Or what was the story called?
Pride and Prejudice. And maybe the password for the security door is also something from that novel. But it has to be a numeric code, because I don't see any letters on this digital combination lock.
In that case, there is something here. Looks like a riddle to recreate the code, in case it was ever forgotten. Jane is the firstborn of the Bennett daughters, right?
Yes.
Enter 1. Now, the number of marriage proposals Lizzie rejects throughout the story.
2. I just witnessed one of those rejections firsthand.
The answer to the question if anyone likes Mary, translated into German.
9.
Kitty's unofficial sequel story, Faces and Facades, is set how many years after the book?
3.
Hell, I didn't know that.
It was actually a fanfic written by a university student called SetsunaMaiou as part of a term paper. You should check out her works, they're really good.
Maybe later. For now, the last one. The digit sum of Lydia's age in years at the end of the book.
She's 16, so 7.
That was almost too easy. I wouldn't have known the answer to most of those questions, but still.
Yeah, it's like they didn't even try to keep us out. Something doesn't feel right about this.
You don't want to go in? Because the device we're looking for is right there on the wall.
Sure I do. Just, let's be careful, okay?
What is this?
The SCIA has maps and blueprints of pretty much everything, possibly even including the witch hunter's solar flare, because we employ similar safety measures to protect our headquarters.
Wait, stop.
What's wrong?
It's a trap. It would have killed us if we had gone any further.
Then maybe now would be a good time to stop, before you do go too far, and someone has to scrape your remains off the floor.
Director Ravenhurst.
Shit.
So you knew all along what we were up to, and just let it happen, because you were curious to see how far we'd come? Even at the risk of your laser trap bombing us into oblivion?
It wasn't even really active. If it had been, throwing some water at it would not have been enough to deactivate it. But yes, the trap is there to prevent intruders from stealing from me. And normally, I'm a lot less patient with them than I am with you.
How did you figure out our plan?
It's truly insulting how little credit you're willing to give me. Ah yeah. You show up in Del Sol Valley, coincidentally at my favorite casino, and buy me a drink, just to steal my empty glass when you think I'm not looking.
You saw that, huh?
At the same time your son, who is famous for many things but not acting, suddenly lands a role in a movie shot at a studio that doubles as a secret entrance to the SCIA headquarters.
Technically not my first movie role. I played the Scarecrow in our homemade adaptation of The Wizard of Oz that simply failed to become a box office hit.
And all this happens mere weeks after the death of Agent Strankova, whose final mission was to hunt down a friend of yours for messing with time.
We didn't kill Olga. That was the witch hunters.
I know. But she probably mentioned the timeless timekeeper at some point, and I can understand why you're after it, thinking we won't be able to track Elise Donovan without it. If that's the reason you're here, rest assured that we're no longer interested in that witch. Tiamo convinced me after Agent Strankova's funeral that Elise is not worth going after.
And we still have no idea how he managed that. Maybe that's for the best.
Actually, it's not the only reason, but I should probably shut up now.
Who told you about the relocation of the HQ though? Let me guess, some rogue agent that Grande knew when they were both still working for me. Considering everyone that left the agency within the last 12 months, minus all the people who never even deigned to look at you. It was Yildiz, wasn't it?
Well.
What I'm saying is that, on a difficulty scale from making Jillian Chopper feel like a victim, to outsmarting that slot machine at the casino, figuring out your plan wasn't even on the damn scale. Any random nobody with basic knowledge of your shenanigans could have done so. Yet I'm not a nobody, I'm the director of the world's most renowned intelligence agency. So did you really think you could just waltz into my office, take what you need, and leave without me noticing?
We would have asked your permission, even come in through the visitor's entrance, but I didn't think you'd let us borrow the timeless timekeeper, considering that you never even told me about its existence when I was still an agent.
Of course I'm not just giving it to you. There is much more to this device than it seems, and it can be dangerous as well. But if you just tell me what you need it for, maybe we can find another solution. Merman, you mentioned other reasons for coming here?
If you really know everything, why do you still need to ask any questions at all?
I'm trying to find out who my parents were. Olga said she'd help if we helped her catch Elise in turn, but it never came to that.
That's it? All this trouble just for a couple of names?
He was born on a remote island, at a time not as technologically advanced as today, so it's not like we could have just looked it up on a computer. The locals weren't any help either. They say he just showed up one day and started terrorizing Sulani.
Oh, so you're not just any random merman then. You're the infamous Leviathan. It's nice to finally meet you in person after everything I've heard.
You've heard about me? How?
Mainly from Google reviews, written by disgruntled tourists whose vacations you ruined with spontaneous monsoons and other natural disasters. Word travels, my friend. You may not have known that there is a world beyond your island chain before your friends got you out of there, but to the rest of the world, you're almost as famous as Tiamo Mammini.
That's pushing it. Right.
Be that as it may, I'm not sure how exactly you were planning on using the timeless timekeeper for your purposes. It's not a historical database filled with the names of everybody who ever had a child.
But I had a vision.
Ha! I told you this was just another one of Lorenzo's ploys. Even better that we're going to walk out of here empty-handed then.
The thing keeps track of temporal anomalies, so it does at least store that data, right? Could we check if there was a temporal anomaly on Sulani around the time Leviathan was born?
Sure, but what would that tell you about his parents?
Maybe one of them caused it. We've known for a while that Lev is somehow more powerful than most merfolk, able to control water without touching it. There has to be an explanation for that, and one, if not both of his parents being unusually powerful, could be it.
Director Ravenhurst. Intruders. They incapacitated me, and Agents North and Biddy, and now they're here.
It's Finilium. I know.
Well, in that case, I'll just go back to my post, I guess.
Please do so.
Sucker.
All right, where were we?
Discussing temporal anomalies, and my parents, and how those two things could be related.
I enjoyed your visit, Azrael. But bad things happen whenever we meet in this world. You should have returned to your post months ago.
Yes, I should have. As the angel of death, I should have known better. But being an angel does not protect me from everything. Like the cold loneliness of the mountain tops, and the selfish desire not to be alone all the time. I forgot who I was for one night, and now.
Take the baby with you, if you don't want to be alone anymore.
And raise him in the wilderness of Mount Komorebi, far away from others like him, with no one but my snow wardens to keep him company? No. That would be the most selfish thing I could ever do, even more so than conceiving him in the first place.
Then he must be eliminated. His mere existence poses a threat to the natural order.
You and your concern for the natural order, Jophiel. Do me a favor and forget the rules, just once.
Like you did that night?
I've made sure that he won't take after me. He'll be a merperson, like his mother. A little more powerful than the rest, for sure, but he'll never know about me. I want him to live the life I never had, free from the heavy burden that comes with his angelic heritage. That is the only gift I can give him.
So let the flow of time continue.
Are you okay?
I don't know. That was a lot. I'm going to need some time to process it.